Hello and welcome. My name is Shannon Kemp, and I'm the Chief Digital Manager at DATAVERSITY. We'd like to thank you for attending DATAVERSITY Demo Day, Data Governance Tools. We're very excited to have you join us for this event, and we have a great lineup of sessions for you today to give you an overview of tools and products available for your data governance programs. Just a couple of points to get us started. Due to the large number of people that attend these sessions, you will be muted during the event. For questions, we will have a Q&A at the end of each presentation today, and we will be collecting questions by the Q&A in the bottom right-hand corner of your screen, or if you'd like to tweet, we encourage you to share highlights or questions via Twitter using hashtag DVDemoDay. And if you'd like to chat with us or with each other, we certainly encourage you to do so. Just click the chat icon in the bottom right-hand corner for that feature. And for this event, we will send a follow-up email within the next week to all registrants containing links to the recordings and slides from today's presentations. Now let's kick off our third session with OvalEdge, and let me introduce our speaker, Sharad Varshney. Sharad is an ACE technologist turned entrepreneur. He has founded a company to blend his unique experience in big data technology and process management into creating a much-needed data management product, OvalEdge. Before founding OvalEdge, Sharad was a principal architect at the innovative software firm Hortonworks, now merged with Cloudera. He has a nuclear engineering degree from IIT, the premier institute of technology in India. And with that, I will give the floor to Sharad to get this session started. Hello and welcome.
Thank you, Sharon. Let me just see if you can see my screen. Everybody
looks
can.
Good. Yeah.
Wonderful. So thank you so much for this opportunity to present this product to everyone. And my name is Sharad Varshney, as you introduced. I would love to walk you through about the presentation demonstration of OvalEdge product. So let me start from the very beginning. So one of the major mission is to bring the value from the data and to create the data-driven organization or to create new data products. Right? So that's at a high level, this mission is ours. So when you are creating a data strategy for your company, you need to ensure that you have a very effective offense as well as complete defense. We have seen that most of the CDOs are focusing on the offense but not focus on the defense, and then ultimately the strategy does not work really well. So for that, what the offense really means is your data science group, your data analytics group. You know, how can you get the data from dispersed data sources? How can you resolve all the access issues? How the business coordination is happening? Are you able to get the skill sets properly done, as well as you can build the trust into the data, as well as you can improve all the data quality challenges, right? So that's most of that from the offense side is there. And from the defense side, the data management challenge is around protecting PII information. Are you complying with all the privacy laws? Are you documenting the data lineage? Are you building the common data standards or improving the quality of the data? So those are the major problems with the head of the CDOs that, you know, how do you solve these challenges? And that is why we have created this product as well as the methodology, which is called the progressive methodology of data governance, which revolve around three parts of it: the catalog, collaborate, and comply. So catalog means we bring all the data at one central platform. Collaborate means that you can collaborate with your colleagues in the data science group to do better analytics. And compliance means ensuring that you are complying with all the policies and regulations. So when we catalog the data, we basically make sure that we have hundreds of database connectors, which you can use this to crawl the data from hundreds of data sources, right? And after that, you can automatically profile it. We have various mechanisms to detect the schema, to build the relationship, to build the lineage, and a lot of AI algorithms to make sure your catalog is successful. And after that, we have a self-service tool for you to do the collaboration and build the data. And with the analytics team, you can build your nice more the value to your organization, but ensuring that you are complying with all the policies and the rules, right? So most from the DAMA standard, we cover all the check boxes to make sure that you have a business glossary and service tags and the data quality and the data classification, everything can be done. So what the benefit you get out of doing this is you get the data-driven decisions, compliance, productivity, to building all this methodology, right? So let's talk about this. How does it happen, and really how do you implement these solutions? So a little bit like why you should choose us comparative to other things. So first thing is that open architecture, is a lean infrastructure, as well as we have AI and capabilities, and it's comparatively affordable. It's used the bottom-up adoption and the complete data governance, right? And we are really proud of our customer service. So without wasting much time into that, let's really walk through that, how the implementation happens and what does we provide, right? So generally, your data sources and every organization have the databases and data sources like that, and you have then data warehouses and the visualization systems. So when we catalog the data, we catalog the data from all the different sources, and we put into that, we crawl the metadata, then we profile the data, we build the lineage and relationship that is automatically, and then you have these use cases for your end users, which is most like from your offense strategy perspective, and then you have those programs for your data governance team, and that's part of your defense strategy of the data governance, right? So the CDO is overseeing all these the data governance procedures, and you are ensuring that. So let's understand how do you build the data catalog first. So we have these crawlers which connects to variety of databases, which goes and crawl the data from every data source. And once the data is available in OvalEdge, it's available for you to do the various self-service. We have various settings to configure those into, to make sure that the crawling is happening perfectly. So there are various settings that are available in this system to kind of cover up various aspects of it. So don't worry that that you can use any kind of processing power. There's a lot of features that are available in that aspect. So once the data is available, the data is available in the data catalog where you can research the data. You can say that, okay, I want to research a specific table here. Or if you're a business user, you can simply search the data and you can say, okay, I'm looking for customer information, and it will go and see all this information there, right? So I'm interested in tables. I can do tables, or I can select all, and then I can go and look around every information there, right? Then let's say I found the table which I'm interested in, and that's where you see the table. You see the complete description of the table, as well as you see the complete detail around that. Who is actually using this table, right? And if you want to reach out to the person, you can directly reach out to them through this panel, and then you can collaborate with them as much as you want. And this all things are they will get the direct like email notification as a part of that. So it's not that only the collaboration is happening here, but it's all in Active Directory as well as single sign-on integrated to it. Then you can see that when the data got profiled and crawl and various details like what is the popularity of it, what is the importance of it. Popularity means how popular it is in terms of the usability of it. The important means how much dependency it is having it. Then you can see the data, of course, what the data is having. You can see the data, as well as you can see its relationship to other data sources. That's how this data is interlinked with other data sources. And you can see that, okay, this table is linked with this one. And then you have like various scores, which is the join score and the similarity score. And join means that how can you, the primary key and foreign key kind of relationship, and the similarity means that how much similar it is, like a duplicate tables are there. And this automatically detected into it. And then you can navigate to them as well. So you can say, oh, I want to move to the fact sales table, and you can move to the fact sales table and see that their relationship to other tables. And something like that, you can keep moving forward and you can go back to the same table as well. Then we have a lineage. Lineage gives you that where this data is coming from and where it is coming from, right? So you can kind of see that, okay, how everything is coming along. And you can see this complete information. So for example, if I'm looking for, say, this report, that where this report is coming from, so I can simply see, first thing, I can see the report, what the report is, and how this report is getting formed, and as well as, what are the different sources it is using. I can consume all this information, as well as, I can see that, how the columns are mapped together as well. So not only at the object level, but at the column level. And all things are automatically created. So you do not, when we crawl the source code, we parse the source code, and from the source code, we kind of build this lineage, right? And from there, you can very easily kind of see all this information. Then you can see the references, that how this table has been used by other things. So this is like, suppose somebody used this in business description, you can reach out there. This is where somebody have kind of just create the link for it, and that's where you can kind of see those information in the references. For every column level detail, you can see that, what the column is. Suppose you are looking for city, you can see the, okay, what are the different cities are there, 531 cities are there, and what kind of cities are there. You can kind of see the all idea about it, as well as you can see its relationship to other data, so other tables. So how this table is linked with other table, and what is the strength of their relationship, right? You can also see its pattern relationship, that how these patterns of the data is matching, as well as see the lineage at the column level, that how the data is really moving from their perspective, as well as any other references are there. You can see obviously the summary of that, how historically the data is moving, and you can see that if there is some change in the data by the timeline, you can see that, okay, is there any changes is happening with the data sources? Is there a metadata changes are happening? So you can kind of see all these details very easily available to everything at one screen, kind of very nicely laid out in front of you to kind of keep getting a very good understanding of that. So that gives you one of the use case, which is mostly around the data discovery, which allow you to discover the data after building the catalog. And all things are automatic. For this, you do not need much thing. Then comes down to how do you protect the data for multiple people, and how do we create the different kind of create the roles and responsibility, assign it to different users, and give that. So for that, we have a very comprehensive security, which allow you to configure your roles the way you want to configure. So there is various roles are there where you can define the metadata roles and the data roles, and you can align the security accordingly, whether you want to give the no access, or you want to give read access, or write access, or preview access. All these things is possible through the data access management program, which allow you to do the complete role and access management towards that, right? After that, after the data access management program, we generally talk about the data literacy program, which is more about like business glossary and implementation of how can you take the data and give it to the business users, right? So the data literacy program talks about mostly about the business glossary implementation and the organizing your data nicely and cleanly. So one of the thing is that you can organize your data using this. Suppose your end users is coming up, they can very easily see this data. As soon as the home page is there, they can see, okay, within the education data, I'm looking for the specific data in this one. And, so you can keep creating your tags, and you can organize nicely and cleanly. And then you can say, okay, within the admission, these are the data sources available are there. And that way you can organize this data, right? So this is the way to organize your data into that. Another one is how can you create the common data standards within your organization? We call it business glossaries, right? So for the business glossary, we have this various business glossary where you can see all the business glossaries here, and obviously you can click on it to kind of see the more details around that what exactly the information is, and you can kind of see very easily search and see this information. So you can see that, okay, I have this net profit, then what exactly the net profit is, what is the definition around it, and where else, what are the different things it is related to it, as well as any further details about that as well, right? So you can put more details around that as well. And you can associate this with your data elements. So you can say, okay, this is the data element where it is associated to it. So if you see the association, like you will see the net profit anywhere, you can associate that to the business glossary element, and from there you can do either way. So if you're looking at the data, you will see that what the standards are, and if you're looking at the standards, you see what the data are. Right? So it's a very intuitive that way to kind of give you that complete information into that. So that's allow you to kind of build your business glossaries through that. There's a lot of more features in the business glossary. I will show you a little bit in the data compliance phase when I'm going to demonstrate about the data compliance part of that, right? So once you have this business glossary, then we talk about the governed collaboration. So let me log in as a business user, then I will talk you more about the governed collaboration. What do you really mean by that? So if I log in as a business user, I will see that my URL is pretty, I have a very limited options. Again, all these are configurable the way you want to configure it, and you can configure that, right? So the one thing is that, let's say that if I'm a business user and I do not have, if I go and see the data, which I want to see it, and if I want to go and see the data, I may not have access to view the data. So since I do not have access to view the data, I can simply come here and I can say, okay, I want to have I want to create a request for creating the access to me, right? So I can simply ask for the request to create this, and we'll create the service ticket for us, right? So you can raise the service ticket to get the access to it, or anything I can create. I can have access directly there to create the service request to get the access to it, right? As well as I can create the request to change the metadata. Now you see that I cannot update the metadata as a business user. Business user, it's a read-only view to us, right? So that way you can control that through the read-only mechanism. Let me go to my own user, which have the more rights, so that I can demonstrate it better. Right? So this is what the governed collaboration does, is that it allows you to collaborate with the business users to the data users, which much more very transparently, right? So that's allow you to do that. That's what the governed collaboration really means, right? Then another use case we have, which we talk about, like collaborative analytics. So let's say that I'm working on a table, right? I'm working on a table, and I want to make sure that I have some more questions around it, which cannot be answered by looking at those numbers and certain thing point like that, right? So I can simply come here and say that, okay, I want to analyze this data more further. So we have a tool called Query Sheet, which allows you to query the data with much more ease, and it's kind of a spreadsheet style user interface, which creates the SQL for you. So you are working with the spreadsheet style user interface, but at the back end, it is building the SQL, and it's kind of giving you the SQL, and you can work through that. Again, the main objective of this tool is to give the business ability to analyze the data by themselves, right? So that is the main objective, but with due governance, right? So there is no, like, for example, there is a social security number which is masked, right? So they will not be able to see the data into that. So they want to filter the data here. They can go and do the filtering. They can show where the city begins with, say, Seattle or something like that. So you can kind of build this. What it does is it show you the data, but it's build you the SQL. Now you can take this SQL, you can run this SQL right here, or you can take the SQL, you can run it whenever you want, but it's an easier interface for allow you to do this query much more easier, faster. If you want to run in background, you can run in background. If you want to run it here, you can run it here. So it's up to you when you want to run it, and it will take care of all the governance policies, and it will run it, and it will give you the results. So you can download the results and you can work accordingly to that. So this query sheet is a very powerful tool for your business users to analyze the data without have to worry about the username and passwords and adding multiple databases to it. It's one source for all the databases. And then we have a feature called projects, right, which allow you to collect the data from multiple angles at one source. So let's say that I have created a project called Customer View 360, and in that project, I can invite some of my colleagues as well to kind of do some more analysis into that. And then whenever I found a customer record, so for example, if I find a customer information and I feel this is a right customer information, I can add this data to my project. This is already added. If I click one more time, I can add some notes to that. And all this data has been added to the project. I can also add a specific column to the project. I can add this table to the, and they say, okay, notes about the project, right? So I can add as many notes I want. Right? So what we are doing is very easily, we are just creating all the things into a unique project, which is a virtual project, where you're virtually connecting all the data to it. So we have collected all these tables into one project. And now for the open architecture is there. If I want to move this data to Snowflake, I can just click this button and move the data to Snowflake, and this will, as a part of open architecture, it will move all the data to Snowflake, and you can query it from there. So this is not only a system which catalogs it, but it's also integrated within your ETL systems as well as your all your open source ETL system as well as proprietary ETL system, or you can build your own simple pipeline within the tool to kind of simplify your ETL pipelines, and as well as giving the ability to the last person, which is the business users, to kind of do the more querying part of that, right? So that is the easy part. You can do that. So which allow you to do the business glossary and the governed collaboration of that. So one of the main part of that is so when we are giving access to everyone, you want to make sure you're complying with all the policies and as well as the privacy laws, right? So for that, you can create your standards called, let's say, the business glossary, which is you created the standards for the privacy, and you have created those standards. Say, for example, social security number, we have ensured that we have masked this information. So whatever the data is associated to the social security number will be always masked, right? So you will not be able to see the data, what exactly the data is, right? You will only see the mass numbers into that. And then the power of AI allow you to find more data sources, which is similar to that. So for example, that we have this field called country, and we have only associated one field to that this is a country field. Then we can ask our artificial intelligence to find more country-like field. So it will find more country-like field, and you say, oh, these are the more country-like fields. And you can come here and say thumbs up or thumbs down. You can simply come here and say apply those results. And once you apply those results, that will happen is that once you apply those, they will also convert it into the country field. And that's where you can keep taking those country and convert those to the actual country field. So this AI is very powerful to take all the data attributes you have, and does not have the name does not matter. Like the metadata name does not matter, because we go with our AI goes with the metadata, with the data as well as pattern. So you see all pattern like data is scored, name is scored, metadata is scored, and everything combined becomes the art score. And you can see that whether it's a country field or the ship country, it's all these things have become as a part of that, right? So you will see that, so the same thing, sometimes you will see that, and as soon as you will go, the recommendation will keep going bad and bad. So at the top, you will see the better score, and after that, you will see some bad results as well. So this is how it works, right? And this is the way you can organize your data. But in terms of the one of the main feature of the privacy control is that, let me show you that. One of the main part of the data privacy is data privacy control is right to know and delete. So generally, these are the 6 major steps which you ask your data privacy officer will ask you to do that, right? This is a part of the GDPR, CCPA guidelines, right? Appointment of the data protection officer, create awareness in the organization, know what privacy information you hold, right? So the data, document the entire lineage, where the data is coming from. So for example, once you are done with all this privacy thing, you can simply come here and tell that, okay, this is my data classification, and this is the within the privacy domain, these are my GDPR data, and they can simply see and come and see all the data assets, which is the GDPR classified. So you can very easily see all the classified information around the GDPR. But another part is that, let's say that somebody have created a request that delete my data, right to be forgotten. So this is a very complex task. So if you ask somebody asks that, okay, what is the right to forgotten information is, you can create a right to be forgotten as a governed data query. What it does is that it creates this query. You can add the governed data query. You can add people's name, social security number, email, and then you can ask them to find this information. And once you find this information, it will give you that wherever in all the different databases, it will search those information, and you can find this, okay, this information is available in all these different databases, and you can see that. This kind of solution, if you see and go out in the market, it will take you millions of dollars to build it, because it will crawl, like generally they go and bring the data at one central data lake, and after that you put the indexes and then they search it, right? This algorithms and this way you can do it everything virtually, and you can just use the database processing power a little bit to kind of go and find the data for you. So it's a much simple way to achieve the same results as you spend millions of dollars to go and comply with that. So it's a very simple strategy to do this governed data query tool, which does it allow you to do that. It's a very easy way to do that. So after those the compliances, there are various tools as well. Like the one of the thing is is like how can you do the there are various tools about doing the impact analysis and using metadata tools. So for that we have the tools for, let's say that you want to compare two different schemas. So you can simply compare two different schemas from different time frames if you want to. So you can select one time frame from one time, another time frame from another time, and you can compare that. Or you can simply compare other databases as well. So you can say, okay, I want to compare the transactional schema to this schema, and I can compare those two data sources, and I can see what is the differences are. So you can see that, okay, you migrated one database to another database, and what is the differences in those two databases are. And you can see those differences very easily and kind of understand what is happening in those two databases. And once you find the differences, you can add those to impact analysis. And there is another tool which can help you to do the impact analysis. So there's a tool called impact analysis where you, if you upgrade a system, you add all the features which has been upgraded. And after that, you can find all the impacted object which is happening because of that. And you can see you see all this impacted object, there is responsible code, and all this information you will see it here, that what is happening there, right? So you see what is the code is, whether you reviewed it or not, and every information you will see there. Right? So that does for the impact analysis is there. Then we have also have the data quality improvement program. So what the data quality improvement program does is allow you to build your data quality better and better, right? So for the data quality improvement program, you can do the comprehensive quality management of the data. You can do the plan, do, check, act kind of lifecycle improvement. We have various data quality tools available and the entire data governance part of it. So the first thing is that you can create various data quality rules. So you can create rules into the system and say, okay, whenever there is a specific information should be within that range. If it range is happen, what is the status of the pass or fail? You can kind of create rules, as well as it allow you to create whenever somebody sees some problem and in the data, and they see there is an issue in the data, they can simply come here and report this to the data quality issue. So they can say, okay, I'm reporting the data quality issue that I see a problem here, and they can simply report that problem. So whenever they see the problem, they can report it, and their data quality person can simply come here. They can see all the data quality issues and say that, if this issue had been, what is exactly the problem area, what was the objective, where the problem is. They can conduct their root cause analysis in that and find out the root cause and then fix the root cause. And to continue this further, they can do the root cause analysis, and after that they can write the rules to complete that. Right? So that is about the data quality rules is there. Then we do have a lot of other tools as well. Like one of the thing is the reporting mechanism in OvalEdge, which allow you to do the entire reporting. So there are various reports are available where you can see all these reports. So various reports are available, like I want to see the data lineage dashboard, how the data is moving from one system to another system. You can kind of see this data from the lineage perspective and kind of see that how the data is moving. So that is the one part of the lineages. Another part of the dashboard is that you can see all the favorite dashboards here, that you can see, okay, what is the user adoption report, what is the, and you can kind of grab and, you can manage the way you want to do it, all these systems. you can control that, and you can way you want to manage it, right? So you can do your reporting with much more easiness to that. So that is also a part of that. So this way you have a complete system which allow you to do the data discovery, your business glossary, your collaboration, your analytics, your impact analysis method. So various tools are available for your data engineer, data scientist, as well as we have these programs, and these programs require best practices, right? These programs require best practices, which we also demonstrate, which we also provide the best practices, that how to implement the data access program, how to build the data literacy program, how to build this, so how to improve the quality of the data. We provide those best practices as we learn from our customers, so that you can implement it with much more easiness, right? So that's the easiness you can do into that. Then there are various other tools are available in the system, which can also create the, you can create the job workflows. You can schedule these information. You can create various advanced jobs in the system. You can write the Java classes, and you can do open as a part of open architecture. You can do as much as you want to do. You can build anything on top of that. So that is another part you can do this. As well as you have a mechanism to control the complete access to it. So you can see all this, the collaboration. You can do the collaboration access. You can see what the system alerts are. What the if you are watching something and something came up, the service desk. You can see all the messages as well, right? So you can see all the messages at one place, or you can see the collaboration, how you can collaborate with your colleagues, right? So it's much more easier to collaborate with them. As well as we have this file manager, which allow you to also catalog your files. So not only this one, but the files can be cataloged as well. So if you see this information, we have cataloged a few files into that. You can simply see that, and then you can see the files, and all the files can be and you can do the complete file profiling as well. And this automatically detect the schema and give you the information about that. So that is also a possibility. You can do that. Then, so those are the main features of the system which allow you to build your complete data governance journey into that. So I will open up for questions if there are some questions coming up, and so that we can answer those questions and see that if you have some questions, I can answer those.
Thanks, Rod. Thank you so much for this great presentation. There's a lot of great questions coming in, and just to answer the most commonly asked questions, just a reminder that I will send a follow-up email within the next week to all registrants with links to the slides and the recordings from today's sessions. So diving in here, you mentioned being able to check all of the DAMA DM boxes. How would OvalEdge support a CDO that wants to be ISO 8000 and ISO 9000 compliant?
So again, it all depends upon that. We do cover the entire landscape of the DAMA lifecycle. Again, the main objective of the 9000 ISOs is to make sure that you are complying with all the laws and policy. And the main thing in the governance program comes under the data lineage. So we do have the data lineage capability. We do have a lot of data quality improvement program, as well as the business glossary, which is the data literacy program, and data certification program, which allow you to do the certification of the data. So all these comes as a part of the product, which you can very easily kind of implement it. So 9000 also comes under the same standards for the data, and mostly is the ISO standards are mostly driving because of the compliance, which is the GDPR CCPA, and we do cover the entire GDPR CCPA life cycle for the compliance thing.
And does OvalEdge have any plans for connectors to InterSystems cache databases?
Which databases?
InterSystems cache databases?
InterSystems. We do cover, I think the variety of the databases we cover. If any, so generally how we work is that most of the databases and the systems we already have it, like applications to the database to reporting systems. If you want to come with us, we have something called connector architecture, which you can extend that to build your own connector, as well as you can ask us to build it, and we can build it for you, the connector as well. So it's generally a 3-week to 2-month life cycle to build a connector to get all this information available to you.
And what metadata does your data catalog capture? What if it is a legacy database with really limited metadata and even naming standards? What value of the data catalog would the data catalog provide?
So the one part is that so this product will not provide any value if you're connecting to only one data source, right? Suppose you are only connecting to one small data source, it's not that much value. Because you can come directly to it, and then you will only have the UI part. The major part comes because it connects multiple data sources, from visualization system to data warehouses to data lakes to applications. And that is the part of the value. And then you extend the metadata further, right? So then you keep extending the metadata, and then that's where you see the value. Another part of the entire value system of this is that it's a complete part of the data governance. So you will see that, okay, this feature is available, but this feature is also available in, say, in my reporting system, and some feature is available in one system. And then you integrate everything together, and it will take you a long time to integrate rather than buying totally all integrated system and implement the entire data governance there, right? So that is the real value of this is that you are connecting to multiple data sources and for multiple use cases. If you have one database and one use case, then you might be able to get this around for some open source tool or something here and there. But the main objective is to comprehensive data strategy. If you are thinking about that, if you're thinking the comprehensive data governance, then you need this kind of tool.
And what if we have applications that don't talk to each other but have similar data? Would your tool be able to match similar data in the siloed sources?
Yes, that is the main part of that, because we bring all the data from two different sources. There are algorithms which can figure out the data relationship between the CRM and ERP systems, which can figure out all these relationships. So now you can take those relationships, you can tag it accordingly, you can build the relationships, and you can do whatever you want to do it. The one part is happens in OvalEdge is that as soon as you go and profile the data, it's very easy to study the data. Like, so for example, if I want to study this Steeler database, I can simply come there, I can see that, what the data is, what the tables are, it's very easy to study the data. So it's one of the cool tools is to study it, right? So you're looking all the fields. Now, the good part is here, the tables are very nicely cataloged and nicely structured, but most of the time when you put on the customers this one, their tables are not as well cataloged because this is all public data, so they're well cataloged. But generally those are not, and that's where it's very useful to find those relationships in this one.
And how do you crawl the source code of separate ETL tools like Informatica are reading from source tables and creating the data tables on, say, an Oracle data warehouse?
So that works through that. So what we do is we crawl various data sources, query logs. We do the source code parsing like PL SQL, T SQL, etc. So we parse those source code. We parse the source code from ETL tools like SSIS, BODS, TEL, etc. We do the reporting tool source code, like we connect to Tableau, we can the XML files and we parse those XML files, like ClickView, ClickSense XML files. And then from there we will kind of find out those. That is one of the secret sauce of OvalEdge, is to find out all these attributes and then this one and kind of build the lineage accordingly.
So we have our data in the columnar data warehouse, SAP, Sybase, IQ, and our metadata in Microsoft SQL Server. Some of our data comes from via XML, Oracle, and assembler code run against BSAM data. We also have a budding data catalog in SharePoint. Is OvalEdge something that can help us and will fit with this environment?
The answer is yes. We do support quite a bit SAP kind of like all SAP kind of connectors was already there. And then you can build all these like mainframes as well, right? So you can connect those systems, source systems, and you can connect those. So once the catalog is built, right? So the one part is that first thing is that what we do is bringing all the data together at one place. Once the metadata is available and the data is available, you can build relationships, you can identify the source code, we can crawl the source code to identify the lineage, we can build a relationship by identifying the metadata from there as well as some data segments. So there are various algorithms which can help you to build the data catalog as well. So those algorithms which help you, but again, will it be a perfect data catalog? The answer is no. But it would be very good data catalog because it's built on the relationship. You can enhance it further. Out of the box, everything automatic would be it's a half automatic and half human. That's how it works. So whether it's a business glossary, whether it's everywhere, you have to work with this to kind of build a phenomenal data catalog, which is like collaboration with your community. And as much as you collaborate with them, as much as they use it. So you involve them as a part of your strategy to build the data catalog from one system to another system. You make them participate into them. That basically creates more and more data awareness in the organization and enhances the more of the data usage.
And is OvalEdge cloud-based?
It can be deployed on cloud or on-premise. So it's both options are available.
I love it. And I think we have time for a couple more questions here. Does OvalEdge have both horizontal and vertical lineage capabilities?
Vertical lineage?
You have both horizontal and vertical data lineage capabilities.
I would say yes. I didn't really get what you mean by vertical lineage, but we do have the horizontal lineage, means where the data is coming from, where it is going. And the vertical lineage means that how the business is related to the data. Yes, you can use the business glossary to understand that how the business is consuming the data to the data element. And that's where the business glossaries are implemented. But I do not get what the vertical really mean by that.
I'll keep an eye out if there's any qualifying questions to that. But let me see if I can get another one in here. Can this tool manage standalone reference values as well as true reference value hierarchies like year, quarter, month, week, day hierarchy?
Yes. So that is the key part of that. You can manage all these different kind of hierarchies here. So if you go to the business glossary, you can see those, and you can create your hierarchies here. As well as the key part of this OvalEdge is that I didn't demonstrate it. Say, for example, you are in your Tableau and you are looking at a report. Say, for example, I'm looking for this report, and you will see that suddenly the plugin came up and it will give you the notification that, this is a certified report. That means this has been certified by your governance team, and they can see this information as well there. So this is a pretty cool feature. They can see that, okay, what are the different assets, data assets are there, and how you can use the plugin. As well as they can use this plugin for their own analysis. Say, for example, if I want to know that what is the data really catalog really means, so I can simply search this for data catalog in this one. I will find this and I will see this information. And for that plugin, I can say, okay, give me the more information. I can go back and click on it and open up the catalog, and then open the catalog and then give you more information around that. So this tool is very helpful for the plugin to go wherever wherever the data is. You don't have to go to the data catalog. The data catalog reaches wherever the data is, because you will be using Tableau or Power BI to report it there, and it comes automatically there because through the plugin. So you don't have to really go into that.
And how would your tool handle lineage for data moves by stored procedures?
The stored procedure comes out of the box. When we build the lineage, it is basically it parse the stored procedure from the source code, from the source system like Oracle, SQL servers. We parse that, and then after that we build the lineage for it. So it's out of the box. There is a tool is available in the OvalEdge which says build lineage, auto lineage. You basically go and select the database, and it basically goes and find all the stored procedures here, and then after that you just go and build the lineage. and you can see the lineage. And as well as if you want some issues are coming up, you can correct the lineage and fix it and do it.
Well, thank you so much, Rod, and to OvalEdge for this great presentation and demo, but I'm afraid that is all the time we have slotted for this session. And thanks to all the attendees who have joined us so far. We now have a 15-minute break where we encourage you to network with each other as you hear us get the next speaker set up. The next session will begin at the top of the hour, where we will hear Craig Smith from Elation present Active Data Governance, a people-first approach to achieving business goals. Sharad, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Shan. Thank you so much, and thank you, everyone. And one more thing, last thing is, if you want to go and access this, you can go and try OvalEdge, and you can the whole OvalEdge environment is available for you, so you can experiment on that as much as you want. You can simply say try OvalEdge, and you can register it there.
Perfect. I love it. We'll get that link out to everybody in the follow-up email as well.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.